Welcome back. Today we're going to go ahead and get started following up with our first CorelDraw video after we've set up the page. Again, as a reminder, our page is set up using the landscape feature and then also setting up the origin using this arrow right here. We've identified it as, in some classes, known as the blueberry. We bring that down, we set that right along the edge of our page. Go ahead, grab the rulers and bring them down. That was discussed in our last video. So today we're going to go ahead and continue on with the sizing of our page and also talking about how do we bring in or import an image. Again, we've talked about 600 by 800 ppi as our minimum size that we want to use as an image. Again, I'm simply going to write this on here so that it's a little bit easier visually to see. I've also talked about the appropriate size of an image coming in that we'd prefer. 800 to 1200 ppi is a number or an image size that we prefer. Those pixels per inch really do make a difference when it comes to the quality of the image that we're trying to bring in. Right up here is our minimum, 600 by 800, but our ideal size would be 800 to 1200. If we overshoot that 1200 size and we're up in the 2000s, CorelDraw operates very slowly. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the internet side of things. And we're going to go search. Now, in class, I've gone and searched for Chaska hawks. I'm not going to bore you with going onto Google, grabbing a page, punching up a logo that I'm looking for. In this case, I'm looking for the Chaska hawk logo. What I am going to do, however, is back up just to the point where I'm taking a look at what I would normally find when I actually hit enter. I punch up Chaska hawks, I hit images. Now I'm looking at a page that most of you would be looking for. I talked specifically about making sure that we're getting the image that we want and being a little bit picky. And when we take a look at some of these images, some of the things we talk about is this area right here where the TM is, that's trademark. If you notice some of the information down here that it's giving us, this is an image directly from the district, from Chaska High School, district112.org. So it's a very high quality image. The image size is 640 by 480. Now if we take a look at it, we can see that the lines are very clearly defined. We also talked about having our images put in a way that they are not mirrored or backwards. In this case, the Chaska hawk is supposed to be looking the way it is. Now if we click on it, it's a link to a website. And we don't necessarily want that website, but that's what this logo is drawing us in and indicating if we click on it. If we move up to these numbers right here, 640 by 480, and we click on it, we will get an additional list of hawk logos that are similar enough where they have been defined as something that would be close enough. And we can take a look at that. This list right here, depending on the logo, can be one picture or image long. Sometimes I've seen hundreds of these images come up. Now, every time it goes to Twitter, every time it goes to Snapchat, every time it goes to a clip art or something like that, and somebody reintroduces it to the internet, it has an opportunity to be republished. So we're going to take a look at all the options here. We're seeing a bunch of district ones. Again, here's a Twitter one, and we're going to keep just kind of going down. We obviously can notice that we start to take a look at some of the quality starts to fade, and it's a little bit fuzzier, not quite as crisp, not quite as clean. The color is a little bit different. Now again, the laser does only laser in on and off, so it doesn't really care what color it is. We won't see the color, but the color is indicated in how much or how deep the laser actually cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and go back, and we're going to take a look at maybe some other ones here as well. You'll notice there's fuzziness and the shading and stuff is not quite as clean and neat on this Twitter one here. And you can see how crisp and clean that one is. Here, this is a little bit more of a close-up. You can obviously tell. Take your time and locate one that you really truly want to use. Okay? Now, as you notice, this one right down over here does not have a TM on it. There is no trademark on this particular hawk. Now, if this is something that you want to take into account on the images that you use, you may want to get rid of that TM, and so you choose that one that looks like this. Again, this one just happens to be for something at the Chaska, within the Chaska district. Take a look at our numbers and see if we can find one that comes up a little bit larger. We don't. We're noticing 500 by 364. What we're looking for is that ideal number of 800 to 1200. The minimum number, 600 by 800 or 800 by 600. Now, right now, I am going to simply back up and I'm going to locate an image, and I'm okay using the TM. I'm going to go ahead and find an image that I'm satisfied with, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm simply going to show how to save an image. We're going to go ahead and right click, and then we're going to go down to Save Image. Now some of you might just say, well, I'm going to copy the image right here, or I'm just going to click and drag it. Now that might get it onto CorelDraw. That is very possible. Many times people can do that without issue. However, for the sake of what we're doing in class, we're going to go ahead and save it, because it will save us some time in later on if we run into any problems. And it will be evident when that time comes. Right now, it's challenging for me to tell you how much time it can save. So we're going to take a look under this PC. Now if you take a look at any of these right here and you're looking around and you're trying to find out your K drive, it's going to be really challenging. But you're going to look for the word this PC. Under this PC, you'll notice something that says class ms district112.org. Now it might also have a different look to it, where if it's listed differently, that it might provide you a different look on any of these. Long story short, you're looking for class MS, and this is the big part right there, is your K drive. When you go there, you're going to go ahead and locate my name way at the bottom. And then you're going to locate the trimester and the appropriate hour that you are in. It doesn't matter where it is. Once you place it in there, let's say we're going to go right here, you'd go ahead and locate anything that's designed or intended for CorelDraw, you'd go ahead and place it in the CorelDraw folder. And that's where you'd go ahead and label it. I would suggest always renaming the folder, or excuse me, the file that you're bringing in to something that you understand. This one right here, really have no idea what that is. But this one right here can be renamed, or in this case, was named something that you can actually identify. It's a JPEG of the Chaska Hawk. You can go ahead and save it. So once you have it saved, we're going to head back and take a look at Corel. Now, there's several options for you to go ahead and take a look at. Number one would be the import function identified on the taskbar near the top. Another option, which operates the same, is going to the File function with the tabs that come down. This one is an acquire image, here's an import image. Now both of these, whether this one or this one right here, operate the same. As we open up, we're going to be taking a look at our network file that we are looking for, the file that we just got done saving. So many of you will be taking a look at your K drive right here. Now please keep in mind, I do not have a K drive, so I'm going to go ahead and show you from my U drive. The U drive is a user drive folder. The K drive is the K drive folder, otherwise known as the class. And the reason the class folder is beneficial to you is because that's the way we are going to be able to send your files, your CorelDraw files, to the laser. The laser computer can see the K drive. The laser computer cannot see the U drive. So I'm going to just go ahead and open this up. And I'm going to locate some of the files that I was looking for. Again, there's a whole bunch of them in there. But we're going to go ahead and start right here. And let's say we located that Chaska hawk, or we found the 50th anniversary, and we run into that scenario right there. And what we're looking to do is we're trying to open up our file and it doesn't open. So one of the things, if we get this list right here, we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And then we're going to shut this all the way down. Now, what has happened is there's been a disconnect between CorelDraw and our network. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I've got everything saved here. And then I'm going to go ahead and reopen CorelDraw. Okay. So as I do that, I'm going to go ahead and shut that one down. I'm going to not save this one because I don't necessarily need this one. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my next folder. This is one that I've already brought in. Let's say we want to put one right over here, and we're going to put a file right next to it. We're going to put one right beside it here. If this is one that I wanted to try out and put some stuff in there, I can do that, and I did that. I want to go ahead and try something else here. This time maybe we'll try it right here. We're going to go with the import function. I'm going to go back. I'm going to take a look. Open it up and oops. We're still having problems. So what I'm going to do is completely shut down CorelDraw, and I'll be right back. And welcome back. Since the last time I was speaking with you, it's been about 3 to 4 minutes. I went ahead and shut down Corel and I opened it back up. And some of you will have that disconnect from our district network location, server locations up to Corel. That does sometimes happen. But I did want to show you that I was capable or able to get that in. So I'm going to go ahead and show it just one more time as real quick. I'm going to go ahead and locate the logo that I wanted to find. I found it in my user file. You guys would be finding it in your CorelDraw file. And I want to go ahead and found that Chaska hawk that I saved before. And again, it'll look something similar to that. And again, if you bring it in like this, you can always trim it down to the size that you need it to be. You can use your arrows to reposition it, whatever the case is. Now, if you happen to be making two identical heads, in this case, two Chaska hawk heads, you want to bring one in and go ahead and place it. And then the second one, if you would actually copy it once it's on the template, you can repaste it. Now, the reason you'd want to do that is because that way the two would be equal in size. But now, you never want to reposition them or resize them after you've done that. If this is I had one student do this in the past, and it turned out really nice. Just making sure that the hawks themselves, or whatever logo that you're using, that you want to be equal in size, you bring one in, and then you can go ahead and copy and paste it once it's on Corel. Now, as you notice, you can see that second image, the one that's on the bottom, actually overwrites, or it's on the second layer above the first one that I put in there. So something like that. If somebody really likes to do that, you certainly can. Not required, but again, just an option. I'll be making another video on manipulating CorelDraw and the images and the text within CorelDraw here very shortly. Thank you for